Hello, happy Monday, and welcome to our Radiant Team call. It is January 21st, I'm pretty sure. And so tonight we're going to be talking a little bit about mindset, a few different things, but we're going to start with mindset because that really does affect so much. But before we do that, we are going to do a little bit of recap. From some things. So we had our Super Saturday. If you have not been to a Super Saturday, I highly recommend that you find one that's close to you and get to it. It's every quarter. It's Beachbody's way of getting us together as coaches. So much we do, we're in our little virtual bubble. So it's a great way to get together as coaches with people local to you. No, they may not be from your specific team, but we're all one team, Team Beachbody, right? So it's a way to get everybody together, do a workout together, you learn about just new things that are coming out and really get that in-person community. It's basically a mini summit that we have. So summits are big yearly event, and then the quarterly events are called Super Saturday or Sunday or Friday, depending on your area. So I actually was asked to be on the elite panel for one in New York. So anybody that's anywhere close, I already told my super local girls, but just in case there's anybody that maybe we'll be up for a road trip, come to New York. That's going to be in April. But if it's too far away, then just make sure you look around and see what's going on in your area so you can get to a Super Saturday and Countdown to Summit, because we're all getting together to have some fun together. So one of the things that they talked about was the Morning Meltdown 100, and that's Jericho's new program. If you're familiar with Core de Force, her and Joel Freeman, yes, of Lift 4, but prior to that, if that's where you know him from, Joel and Jericho did a program together called Core de Force, and it's a really cool MMA kickboxing workout, but she is coming out with a brand new program, has not yet been filmed, so listen up, Morning Meltdown 100. And the premise of this is basically just to teach consistency. So it's 100 workouts in a row. I can't even imagine, like, not resting on Sunday. So we'll see how that goes. I supposedly they're building in, a calmer day on Sunday because it really does go for 100 days straight. It's really helping people see the benefits of working out in the morning, getting the workout done, how that helps with energy throughout the day, et cetera, et cetera. So Morning Meltdown 100. So the key to that, there's two ways that you can get to experience that in a neat way. So the first way is you could be a part of the test group for that. And test groups are so awesome. I was chosen for the Transform 20 test group. It really is a great way to, get exposure to the program, talk about it, before everybody else, and just have that, firsthand experience with it. And so you can qualify for the test group. So it has not been filmed yet. That's what the test group is about. It's getting a small group of coaches in to go through the program literally as they're filming it. So I will show you, there is some qualifications for it. I'll post it on our team page. You could take a second and look at it. But basically, it's fair game. It's the highest Success Club points in your specific category. So no, it's not you as maybe an active coach or an emerald going up against star diamonds. It's you in your category, and everybody starting at 0 because the qualification period starts February 1st. So Team Cup is going to be a big month. You're going to be pushing for some really cool, goals that have some neat incentives attached to them. So if you're the highest Success Club winner, and don't check it off thinking, oh, well, I can't get 1 billion Success Club points. Well, what if you're the highest in your category and you have 10? You just never know. So shoot high. February 1st to February 28th is a qualification period. And again, I'll post that on the page so you can see, because why not? You'll get an opportunity to be a part of that test group and, test out the program before everybody else. So that's that. The second part is if you refer someone who purchases their summit ticket, you get to be a part of a group of coaches that get to do this workout with her at Summit. So I keep talking about how important Summit is to get to be together. That's another neat incentive to get there, is to sign up yourself. And then if you have, someone else that wants to come, or even in the team, we can say like, hey, did anybody refer anybody yet? Okay, well, I'm gonna put your name, and someone else can put your name, and then you'll be able to be a part of that workout, which is going to be really cool. All right, they also announced that the Fruit Punch Energize is coming out next month. I got to taste this at Leadership in Vegas in October, and it tastes really good. It's not crazy sweet. You think fruit punch, and it's like, ooh, it's really, really good. It kind of has like a tropical flavor to it. It's really, really good. So that comes out soon. Be on the lookout for that. It'll be in the stick packets and regular packets. Success Club trip, they announced the location for that. So that's not this one. This one coming up is the cruise to the Bahamas. 2020 is Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, and it's going to be so, so cool. So they are going back to a place that they went to before, and you have the opportunity to be there. This is not for special coaches, for top coaches. Like, you can earn your way there just like anyone else. And it comes from, you know, Success Club, hitting Success Club every month. And guess what? It's January. So it is a clean slate for everyone. Your commitment is to helping 3 people a month. And no, we're not doing it for the perks. We're all about purpose on this team. You know that, right? But how cool is it to get, celebrated for helping people? So I would love to have you there with me, and that's your goal, is to help 3 people a month, and then they're going to, base off of that, invite you to that trip to register. But you do have to opt in now. So opt in for that. Go to the frequently asked questions, opt in, and then just in case you do get invited off, you've already opted in, but you will not get invited even if you're on the list if you did not opt in. So go make sure you do that. Team Cup, that starts February 1st, but we're registering for that now. If you saw my post, I kind of matched people up just based off of, people who, have been in a good groove already, and then newer coaches, so that everybody can feed off of each other's energy, maybe matching you up with people who you haven't necessarily, been communicating with before. So it's a neat opportunity to just get to know new people and all push towards the same common goal. So I posted some guidelines for that, and we'll talk more about that next week as it gets closer. And then, of course, Summit. So I have on here a little graphic that I posted before about who is registered for Summit already. Please get your ticket while it is cheaper. It's $155 right now, and it's going to hop up to closer to $300. So I did a whole video explaining all of that, but we want you there with us at Summit, and we'll get to have some sweet time together. Okay, so as for recognition, I posted this on Mondays. Mondays we update this. So this is kind of our current board for Success Club, Changing Lives Club, we love to call it, and how neat to see all of these names up here. Shout out to Caroline. She's one of Ashley's coaches, brand new coach, just joined within the last few weeks, and she's already helped someone, which is amazing. She has a challenge group that I saw she posted. So that's the key, is have something to invite to, or else, like, we go to invite every day according to the tracker, what are we inviting to if we don't have something to invite to? So make sure you have a group to invite to. If you don't have your own, you're welcome to invite to mine. But if we're inviting every single day, which is what we do, one of our main vital behaviors, that's we're going to have something to invite to. So I love this. I love seeing all the lives being changed. Let's keep going. We still have 11 days left in the month. And then for our new coaches, welcome to our new coaches. We had our new coach call a couple weeks ago, but I think everybody joined like right after that. So I will officially welcome some new coaches that I know off of the top of my head. We have Heather, we have Tanisha, we have Caroline, we have Jasmine. Are there any other new coaches that I missed in the last month or so? So those are our new coaches for the last few weeks. So welcome. We're so super happy that you're here. All right, so let's get into our talk for tonight. I'm trying to figure out how I just made that, how I minimized that. Do you know how to make that bigger? Anyway, you can still see it. Okay, so let's talk about mastering your mindset. And this is taking action in order to move your business forward. Mindset is everything, right? We know that even as believers. I had to add this scripture in there. As a man thinks, so he is, right? Proverbs 23:7. And a lot of times we get so stuck in our thoughts, right? We call it like in our head. We get so stuck in our head thinking about, what that person's going to perceive us as, or what that person's going to think, or wishing we had this. And that's a barrier to us really stepping out and taking action. So one of the things that we really need to do is constantly be taking those thoughts captive. So when you find yourself paralyzed by fear or insecurity, or feeling like you don't know enough to share, or you're worried about what the person's going to say. I love those conversations from new coaches, and they're like, yeah, but I don't know how they're going to respond, and I don't know if I'm going to know the right answer, so I don't really want to reach out to them just in case I don't know what they're going to say back. So I know what I say back, and it's like, we just get so stuck in our head. We have to take those thoughts captive, get out there, overcome those fears, or else you're not going to move forward. So anything that comes into your head that you know is not true, literally say, is that truth? Are they going to think that I'm a weirdo? Are they going to think that I'm salesy? Like, is that truth? Maybe it is truth, but is that something that I should be overthinking before I even take that step and potentially rob somebody of a gift that I have to offer them? We have to get past that. So one of the things that is important to do is controlling the controllable. So I want to hear from you. When you hear controlling the controllable, what are some things in this business that we can control? Go ahead and type them in the chat box. What are some things that we can control? And then I will take a peek at them after we're done sharing. So we get so focused on the things that we honestly can't control. And some of those things are Success Club. Like, at the end of the day, we can't actually control who purchases, right? We can't control, whether people respond to our messages or not. There's so many things that we can't control, and we have to just really focus on the things that we can control and keeping that love and that joy and that passion for our own journey. If we get too focused on other people and what we're supposed to be doing, and we lose the reason why we even joined in the first place, our passion, our excitement, really just authentically living out our journey and letting that be what's attractive to people, then we're going to get stuck. So if you're wanting to attract, hard workers, and you're wanting to attract people who, really want to do something with the business, it starts again with our own journey, living that out and letting that be what brings people in. So some of the things that we can control our attitude, right? We can control our mindset. We can control how many workouts we get in. We can control our nutrition, all to a certain extent. I mean, as believers, we know that how much are we actually controlling, but we can take the actions towards how many people we invite. So no, we can't control the actual Success Club number, but we can control how many people we start a conversation with, how many people we do actually invite into this opportunity. So just making sure that we control what we can control, and that we're not emotionally tied and attached to the results, because that's what's going to keep us frustrated and upset and stuck and fearful and not wanting to move forward. But we can't base our worth off of our income or the amount of yeses that we get. We have to control what we can control. So the next thing is our decision. Literally sitting down and making a decision. Are we going to dive all in, or are we going to continue to dabble? Which one is it? And that decision really has to do with our words and how we're wording things. Look at the difference. And even as we're talking, sometimes when we say, well, I might go to Summit, or I'm going to try and hit Success Club, or maybe if, throw those words out, because we're giving ourselves a way out. We're giving ourselves a plan B instead of going all in fully and saying, when I hit Success Club, or I will help this person get started this month. Change your mindset, change your words, because it's our thoughts that are gonna dictate, how we're speaking and how we're thinking. That's gonna dictate our action. So making sure that we're on top of that and really speaking things that are going to help us positively move forward. The sacrifices are going to be sacrifices that you have to make. What are those 4 things that make up who you are? So for me, it's Jesus, it's my family, it's natural living, and I love serving people. And that's just, it flows through my social media and my conversations with people. So what are your 4 things? Go back to that color wheel. What are the 4 things that make you you? 4 things, 5 things, 10 things, whatever it is, usually like 5 or below, that really make you who you are, because that's what you want to portray. And maybe there's other things that aren't connected to that you're going to have to sacrifice for a little bit. I know for me, I used to watch Netflix all the time. Like pre-mom, that was my jam. Like I would just, I think back, I'm like, what did I do before kids? I think I literally just sat around watching Netflix. Like I loved watching certain seasons of shows. And when I first became a coach, and Jonah was legit like a month old and Julian was 2, I remember that being one of the first things that had to go. In my head, I'm like, I could sit around and watch a couple hours of TV when the kids are napping or whatever, or I could trade in that time to build a business. And yes, it was a sacrifice, but to me, it was a no-brainer. What are the little sacrifices that you can make? That doesn't mean you have to give up your whole life and not do anything that you enjoy. Of course not. But what are the little sacrifices that you can make? Maybe on your commute to work, instead of listening to music, maybe on the way you listen to a podcast, or some kind of PD or something that's going to directly affect your business. So making those little sacrifices that are going to really pay off in the long run. And then taking action on the not so sweet stuff. So there's going to be things that we don't necessarily enjoy, just like with any job, right? There's always something about that job that may not necessarily be something that you love to do. But just because we don't love the actual thing doesn't mean that we can't remember our purpose and our why that we do it. So what is that thing for you? Is it inviting because of fear or whatever else it is? Maybe you don't love the actual action part, but think about why you're inviting. Think about that person that needs to hear what you have to say, and they need to feel what you're feeling. Like, people are attracted to what you're portraying. So are you showing that you love this lifestyle? And be honest. I love when people own that they don't like to work out. I do. I love it when they're like, I hate to work out, but guess what? I'm making a choice to do it right now anyway. Or I hate eating vegetables, but look at me, I'm drinking my superfood shake, or I'm making this salad. Like, you don't have to pretend that you love everything, because that's not real. And people want to relate to you. They want to know that they're not the only ones that feel the way they feel. So if you don't love to work out, say that you don't love to work out, but that you found a workout that really does make you, look forward to it a little bit more than you used to. Or find those things that are going to attract people that are like you. So don't go after the people that are already into health and fitness. We're not hashtagging the names of the programs. We're not hashtagging the names of Shakeology. Like, we want to, that's just Beachbody coaches in there that are going to see those hashtags. We want to find the people that are who we were before Beachbody. So think about that. Who were you? How were you feeling? Go find that person, and that's who you want to bring in. There is an example of, when we're talking about action, of a well, and how you have to pump a well really hard for a while before you see that first drop of water. And for a while, you have to trust that the water is building up and it's growing underneath of the ground. And so there's two different people. There's the person who pumps really, really hard, and they get that drop of water and they're negative about it. Like, man, I did all that work for one drop of water. Those are the people that don't see a paycheck quick enough, or don't see, the influx of people running to them, and they quit, they cancel. But then there's the second person who pumps and pumps and pumps and gets that one drop of water. Whatever that one drop of water is for you, doesn't have to be a Success Club point. It could be that first message of somebody that's like, man, you really inspired me today. I did not want to get my workout in, but I did. Or, you really inspired me in my faith journey. I'm going through some serious struggles, but to see you show up every day and share what God's doing in your life, that inspired me. So are you going to be the person who sees that drop and gets frustrated and wants to quit because it's not enough? Or are you going to be that person that pumps hard, works hard, shows up every single day for that drop, and goes after that one person that you could brighten their day that day? And I hope that we're that people, that we're willing to show up and we're willing to do our part, but also, like I said, leave the results to God, because we can't be focused on the outcome, because what's that going to do? Backtrack. If we're too far thinking about what's going to happen, what's not going to happen, it's going to prevent us from taking those steps. So do our part, show up, and don't be emotionally attached to the outcome. So then when we talk about duplication, who do you crave to lead? When you think about building a team, you think about leading your own team call for your tribe. And I hope you do, because that's what this is about. It's not about just keeping it in ourselves and helping clients. It's about helping other people get the same passion and be able to exercise that passion themselves too. So when you picture leading a team call for your people, like, who are your people? Who is the person that you want to lead? What are their characteristics? What are their qualities? I want to hear it. Put it in the chat box. Who is your ideal coach? Who is that person? Because that's going to be, who you are. They're going to be attracted to you. So if you want someone that's hardworking and that's going to show up and be active in your team page and, commenting on things, building relationships, and, listening to the national wake up call, whatever the things are that you want that person to do, passionate, driven, hardworking, motivated, you have to be that, right? Because we're going to attract people who are like us. So that's my question for you, is to really just take a second and look in the mirror and reflect. Are you that person? Are you her? Are you modeling out the type of coach that you want to attract? So not focusing on the Success Club points, not focusing on the income. That stuff's going to come. That's going to be a natural reflection, a natural byproduct of us showing up and doing our part every single day. But at the end of the day, specifically on this team, what we want to be attached to most is not, the results. We want to be able to, at the end of the day, say, did my family get my best? Did I shine light today in the dark fitness world and inspire people, not just post my sweaty selfies and look like, oh, hey, here's me again. I'm super disciplined. I got my workout in, but were we a light and, adding value to people's day and really giving them something to look forward to, coming to to watch our stories or come to our page? Are we adding value to people's lives and really being that light? That's what we really want to make sure that we're doing. So let me stop sharing so I can see what you said. I really want to hear, what are some of your staying committed to your journey, show up, and for how long, number of people I talk to, stuff you're doing, what you should be doing. Yes. What else? I want to hear what else for your dream coach, because I want to hear what you picture for your team. Dedicated to your journey, hardworking, sincere, open to helping anyone who needs it. Yes, love it. What else? Is there anyone that's fearful of growing a team because you feel like maybe you don't think that you have what it takes, or that you're nervous? Yes. Would you like to elaborate on that? Yep. Yes. Get it out. Seriously. This is why we have, definitely nervous, but I know I can do it. Exactly. Don't you think I was nervous? What do you have to say?
I was going to stop, but you were on a roll.
Oh, sorry.
No. So I was going to just share real quick, because Patrice said to me earlier, she was like, you got to talk about mindset. What would you talk about? And I was like, man, I can talk about this for like an hour. I won't do that, I promise. But so this past year, I really had I guess it was more than a year now. I had a tough year, and it was because the year prior to that, I just like got dragged through into having a terrible mindset around my job. Like, it was just day in and day out, if somebody would ask me like, do you like your job, or, how's work, that question, it was just a very negative mindset. And up until that point in my career, I had been pretty successful, like climbing up, and I realized, that I remember one day being on a phone call, and it was with a bunch of people, and I was answering questions, and my boss called me after the call, and she said, hey, I wanted to check in with you and see if you're okay. You sounded just really sad on the call. And I was like, wow, I sounded sad. And I like really had to check myself, because one of the things I realized is that my mindset of having a negative perception of my job, and just kind of, it wasn't crazy negative, but it was enough for it to actually impact how people saw me interacting with them. And so one of the things that Patrice touched on is like words, and the words that we use around things. And so I came home, and like, I think I told Patrice, I was like, I'm done saying that I hate my job, or that I don't like my job. I do like my job. I'm very blessed. I'm very fortunate. And I have to stop thinking that, because it's a mindset, right? And as soon as I started to do that, I realized that like my attitude inside of meetings and how I communicated and how I talked to people, it completely changed. And I had people come to me and literally tell me like, hey, I've noticed like all of a sudden, like this year, you're different, like something changed. And it was just a mindset shift for me that I didn't even realize. For a whole year, I had been kind of going around being like someone that I really didn't even think that I was. And a lot of it resulted in a tremendous amount of lack of self-confidence too. Me sitting there saying that like I didn't like my job turned out to me literally being like, I'm not bringing value. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this well. I'm questioning everything that I did, all starting from a mindset of, this kind of negative mindset. And so I just wanted to share with you guys that, if you're not thinking about every day all the positive aspects of the opportunity that you have in front of you, please do that, because it will come out in your conversations. It will come out inside of the way that you're talking to, other people, how you portray yourself, through social media. It will come out. So, just kind of take that and be encouraged by it. And, hopefully that's helpful.
Sometimes my mindset turns negative when I'm pushing my business, but it's not growing like I hope or think it should. Just say that.
What was it?
Like when you feel like you're doing the work, but the results aren't necessarily coming.
I think we put too much emphasis on results. I think that like you have to trust that if you're doing the things that you should be doing, and I tell her this all the time, because there's times where I think you've been down that road too, kind of questioning things. And I always am like, yeah, but what about the girl that just talked to you yesterday that called you up and was like so blessed by something that you said, or something that, an encouraging post or this or that? Like I always tell her this, and I'll just say it to everybody here. Like the purpose of this team is so awesome, and it literally affects me. Like it affects me and like how I look at the world, because of how this team has the opportunity to shine for Jesus every single day. And by doing that, like that's the goal. And if you're worried about like Success Club results and those kinds of things, like, look around you and look at the opportunity that you have a chance to put a smile on somebody's face and to make them think about Jesus. Like just having the opportunity to make them think about Jesus, like that's incredible. Like that's an amazing opportunity. And you don't get a chance to do that in every job. I know as Christians, we're supposed to do that. Oh, hey there, little buddy.
What are you doing?
He's supposed to be in bed. But it definitely is a crazy opportunity. And I think that it's easy to get distracted in. But like I would say, when you feel that way, stop and just like remind yourself about what the purpose is that you have in this business, because it's way bigger than just, Success Club points or a paycheck. Like, yes, those things will come with time, but like, it's all about Jesus. It really is.
Well, and also remember there's a 30, 60, 90, who knows, 120. There's a lag that happens. So the conversations that you're having right now, that person might not join you, for another year. There's people that still come back to me like, okay, finally I'm ready. I'm like, oh, thanks for joining me 2 years later. Like, what in the world? Those same people that are ghosting you, not responding to your messages, they know that you saw it. It says seen. The people that are ghosting you, again, they are watching you. And I will preach this forever and ever and ever, because I've seen it happen. I'm 2 years in this game. I've seen it happen. People will watch you. And guess what? They want to know if you're going to be that girl that they can count on. Maybe they have had a coach before in the past who was hard pursuing them. They signed up, and then the coach maybe ghosted them, right? And the coach was nowhere to be found. I hear that all the time. People that want to switch to me, they're like, yeah, my coach doesn't ever reach out to me. I don't even, I talked to her a lot at the beginning, and now she doesn't even. We are not those people. And so that's what we're kind of proving. People have to learn to trust us. Social media, as awesome as it is that we feel like we know people, and that's why we're putting ourselves out there, there's still a trust factor that has to happen. So, you kind of can't get mad at people for taking some time to get to know you, and maybe just watching to see, is she going to show up today and then not show up in a couple months? Maybe I do finally join her, and then she's nowhere to be found. Like they want to know that we're going to be there for them. So that's why the discouragement, the disappointment, that's going to happen. I'm not going to pretend it's not. There's times where, I probably haven't cried in a while about something, but I cry all the time. But I just mean like not because of, okay, whatever. My point is, you're going to have moments where you're discouraged and you're defeated. That's going to happen. But that's if you're focused on the results. If you're focused on showing up, serving people, loving people every single day, you can't be disappointed in that, right? And what you're doing today is literally going to be the harvest that's going to show up potentially 3 months, 6 months, 9 months from now. Maybe that's discouraging for you. Maybe you're like, oh, well, I don't have time for that. Peace out. Okay, well, then you're going to miss out on all those people that are going to come around because they, were waiting. They were just waiting.
So there's a couple comments about people feeling like they're letting the team down.
Just your thoughts on the day. Yeah.
So I just wanted to say this because I can totally relate to that. There was definitely a time in my career recently where I was like I said, just really going through just a lack of self-confidence. And I was constantly feeling like people on my team or my bosses were looking at me thinking that I was not doing a good job, that I was missing the mark. And I was projecting a perspective that they had on me that wasn't true. It just wasn't true at all. And I was like, couldn't sleep at night. Like I would come home. I was literally like just overthinking it so much. Like what I would say to you is like, that's just not truth. You're not letting the team down. Like that's something that that's something that you may feel that way. I'm not trying to negate the feelings because I get that, but you're also taking and putting somebody else's perspective on you that's just not true. Mm-hmm. So I've been there, and what happens is like we think it and we like let it almost become like a little bit even of a distraction too, and almost like well, I'm frustrated by this. When really all you have to do is just keep pushing forward, and you'll get your mark, you'll get your time. With some of the other things that Patrice has talked about. So.
And do we not remember all of the amazing things that you've done in only the few months you've been a coach? I think that's a lot of it too. Is we are so hard on ourselves. You tell me that all the time. They're like, you have grace for everyone else except yourself. And it's true. I'm hard on myself. You don't have to tell me, that I am not doing a good job or whatever. Like I'm going to think that for you. Like I am so hard on myself. And I think we feel like, we have to meet this measure, this level of, and yes, there's Beachbody benchmarks. And I won't pretend that that's not what it takes to grow a successful Beachbody business, because it is. So Beachbody says, hey, here's what we found to be successful. Just like at his job, you know exactly the things, the other job, the things that are taken to be successful. But again, so we're going to take those. I'm not going to throw them out just because we're Team Jesus. We're Team Jesus, and those are the things that take, to grow a successful Beachbody business. But with that, our mission is bigger than that, and that's not the only thing that we're focused on. And so we have to, again, mindset, if we're constantly thinking about, how we're letting people down or how we're not measuring up or how we're not doing this, we're going to be stuck instead of looking at the end of the night and saying, again, did my family get my best? Good. Did the people that God's entrusted me through social media, through my clients, like, did I give them my best? Because I do think that we love Jesus and we love him so much that we do want to honor him and work hard, So did I work hard? Did I give it my all? If the answer is yes, that's it. That's it. If you worked your business, diligently and gave it your all, then that's all we can do.
Here's the other thing with the metrics, and kind of like, I know that Beachbody has success metrics and certain goals and things like that. Here's something to keep in mind. A lot of businesses don't do a good job at putting those kinds of metrics and benchmarks in front of their employees. They don't. I can tell you my company doesn't do a good job with it. So the fact that you have those things, just look at them as like actually like a good thing. They're there for you. And you'd rather have them so you know what you need to be successful than not have them at all, right? So, and I would also say that from an entrepreneurship standpoint, starting a business, typically if you're starting a business off the ground, it's very hard to understand and know what those metrics are to put in place so that you can be successful. So the roadmap that Beachbody has is not meant to be a discouragement. It's just meant to be the roadmap that you can use to help guide you to become successful in the business. So I think I get how sometimes it can be like, okay, what are we reaching for? But I think those things are actually really, really good things. And I love that Beachbody has kind of like, made those things available so that Jonah has lots of hand motions too.
He's like his mom. That's how I talk, right? You guys get dizzy when I'm talking? Anything else? How was that, Erica?
Any other comments?
Any other comments? Questions? Any other thoughts about anything? How are we feeling? Are you guys just tired? Yes, you're tired. Okay, I'll take that. Is anybody discouraged, defeated? No, we're good. We're just tired. Okay. All right, ladies. Well, let's close in prayer. Oh, a little Jacqueline. All right. Well, we need to talk. We're talking this week, right? Yeah, I don't have lots of you on my schedule this week. I don't know what happened with the New Coach Academy. So it is, yes, for new coaches, but it's also for all of us. We were going to kind of go through it together, and where it says to set up a getting started right call. If you already have had that because you've been a coach for a while, then you're just setting a goal setting call with me or whoever your upline is, just to kind of chat and chat through goals for the quarter, goals for the year. So if you ever want to chat with me, I'm always, always, always here. You just reach out and let me know. All right. I just had that happen. Oh, that's old. Okay. All right, let's pray and then we will get you to sleep. Lord, thank you so much for who you are. God, thank you that your ways are higher than our ways, your thoughts are higher than ours, and that we don't have to know it all. I mean, that is freeing for somebody that does like to control, raising my hand. I don't have to. I don't have to have it all together, Lord. That's what you're there for. And so I just pray that even in our weaknesses, especially in our weaknesses, Lord, we can admit that we need you. And so I just pray that our businesses would reflect that we are just desperate for you all the time, and that anything good that happens is because of you, so that we can give you the glory for it, Lord. And I just pray that our biggest responsibility that we feel is not, based off of worldly measures, Lord, but our biggest responsibility is being that light, shining that light, Lord, and just pointing people back to you. That's our mission. And so I pray that you'll continue to show us, because it is hard. We are walking that narrow road. That's just truth. We're walking a narrow road, especially in, being partnered with a secular company, God. But I think I take it as a blessing. I'm just seeing more and more and more, the longer I'm in this, just how much Beachbody needs you. Even the coaches that we're able to be an influence on, and, show that there is a different way to do this. I've done this the other way where it was stressful. I was constantly striving and overwhelmed, God. And I've seen what the glimpse of can be when we're truly surrendered and our hands are open, and that this business is yours, and that our lives are yours, and that you're the one that's in charge. So Lord, we just fully surrender to you. We pray that any feelings that we have, discouragement, feeling defeated, Lord, we just lay them at your feet and ask that you would just rebirth that joy and give us that excitement for the business to wake up and want to invite people, Lord. It's a blessing. It's a beautiful thing that we just get to live out every day. And I pray that we that's attractive, but again, not to point others to ourselves, but to point them to you. So we just love you, and we give you our businesses, Lord, and we just pray that we'll work as unto you, and then give you the glory for all that you do. We love you so much, and thank you. Amen.
Amen.
Bye, ladies. Oh, wait, picture. Ready? Don't anybody turn your video off. I see you. 1, 2. There's Nicole. Cheese. Hold on. Joe just cheesing. Oh, my head's in the way. A big head. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Bye. Love you.